Google Analytics is this amazing digital marketing tool that folks who are at small businesses or large businesses or even side hustlers could be using to benefit their digital marketing strategy, knowing where to put dollars and where to put effort really in creating certain content or what have you. But I'm going to take you through a beginner level run through of everything Google Analytics has to offer, what I look at, because there's a lot to look at on a daily basis as a professional digital marketer for my clients. I'm also going to share a link to where you can look at a demo account so you can play around with it and maybe even get to know it enough to set it up for your own business or organization. I pulled up a demo account here and we're going to go through GA3, but know that Google has already released a new product called GA4. I feel like going through GA3 is more important though, because it better explains, especially for beginners, the different types of reporting you could be doing with Google Analytics that we'll dive through here. This first page we're checking out is just the real-time view. I honestly don't look at these too much. I'm more about looking back at historical data over the past week or past month. But what's really nice is you can see how many users are active on your site at a given time, especially for bigger sites. This is nice to see. And you can look at your top pages of what people are going to and where they're at. Just some quick fun facts you can pull, which is nice. Now, one thing I've looked at a lot is their audience overview. Now, with nuances and with GA4 coming, things might change with this to a degree. But what was really nice is that you kind of get an overview of how many new users are coming to your site, how many sessions they do. To explain that for you, a session is where someone's actually using your site. So you're going to see more sessions than users because some users are coming back and having more sessions. You have number of sessions per user, so that gives you that average amount I just mentioned. Page views, so the number of pages that these users are going to. Then the pages per session. This gives you an engagement metric for how many pages these users are actually going to on your site on average. So you can use this to describe to a client the types of engagement and how engaged users are on the site. Bounce rate is another engagement metric along with average duration. Now this is a nice overview, and you can even see what types of operating system to maybe see if they're using desktop versus mobile or iOS versus Android. But one thing I used a lot was the interest overview. And that's because the interest you see here tie into things that you can also target on platforms like Google Ads. Now, this is a demo site, so I really don't know the type of business that you were doing. But for example, if I was working with a hair salon, the types of users I would see here and the types of interest would probably be along the lines of men's and women's hair care, makeup maybe, someone who's interested in beauty and fashion. Those are the typical things that I've seen. But for this case, you can see technology, mobile enthusiasts. So as an example, a huge retailer like Best Buy who sells electronics would probably want to target this segment because they're in market, they're actively looking for some electronics to buy. Let's dive into acquisition next. Now, acquisition is one of my favorite ones to use, and I always end up checking it because it says a lot about a business. What's really cool is that you can choose your custom dates up here. This is again GA3. I'll give you a little preview of GA4 at the end too. But you can switch this to say all goals, which looks at your conversions, which I'll also talk about later. But if you're an e-commerce brand, like if you're connected with Shopify, then you're obviously going to want to look at this because it actually shows revenue made and has that direct connection. And yes, we are to the point in digital marketing, which is my favorite part about it, that you can actually track the amount of revenue, let's say if you have a Shopify store, that you get from running paid media like on Google Ads or paid social ads. And it all is tracked here with proper setup and tagging. So know that it's possible and that you can eventually get to that point with your business. This channel breakdown is my favorite thing because it really gives a breakdown of where users are coming from. So based on this, and I know that some sites like Wix and stuff have it, but they don't have this kind of data to this depth where you can see the average session duration or it's connected to your goals. That's where Google Analytics really thrives. So with this, in this example client, they get a lot of direct traffic, which direct you can think of is someone actually just going directly to your site, typing it in. Maybe they have it bookmarked. And then if Google can't categorize traffic, it tends to fall under direct. So it kind of makes it bigger. But it also breaks it out by paid search. So these are users that you are sending to your site from a paid search campaign. And if you look at those revenue numbers again, you can see that revenue is tied to paid search. So let's say this is for the last 30 days, and you know you spent $1,000 on paid search ads to help your Shopify store, you can say, oh my gosh, I spent $1,000 and I got $17,000 in revenue. And you can say, okay, my marketing's clearly working, or maybe the agency I'm working with is clearly doing their job well. I'm going to keep using this. And I might even up this budget because I want to see if I spent $2,000, would I make double the revenue? And this is how you can start having those strategic digital marketing conversations as a business owner in a way that's pretty easy to access once you understand it. Other channels that you'll see in here that just aren't shown here are paid social. You would have to set that one up custom, but there's organic social, which is not custom. It automatically shows up, which is nice. So if you have a lot of organic social content that drives people to your site, you'll see that breakdown here. Referral means you're coming from other sites, maybe a publisher, maybe an article was shared on you in the Wall Street Journal in your business, and you're going to get that referral traffic coming to your site. That's what it would fall into. And what's nice too is they might not show it because the data is not a lot here. Nope, it doesn't. But essentially, you'll see like a breakdown here of like wallstreetjournal.com, CNN.com, like if you're ever covered, or in a local news outlet too. And display means display media. So if you're running paid ads, or if you're working with publishers at a large scale, then your traffic would show up under display. Then it even shows source and medium. So this tells you that not only did it come from Google, but there's multiple channels under Google, but this traffic specifically came from cost per click, so more so paid search. But you can also see maybe it came from Bing, because Bing is also a paid search platform, and it breaks it down for you. And you get a breakdown here with something like organic. So if you clicked on organic previously, you would be able to see the different traffic you get from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And what's really nice about that too is imagine if you can see revenue broken down by those three platforms. Then as a business owner, let's say if you're even small scale, you would know, okay, I get 100 users from Facebook and 200 from Instagram, but I get $2,000 in revenue from Instagram and only $200 from Facebook. So in that case, I would say that Instagram is definitely not only better at driving users to your site, but it also results in more revenue. And that's where you can start to make those types of connections, which is great. Now I'm going to skip the social tab for now because like I said, this demo account doesn't have great social data, but know that that example I just explained to you is a really good way to use it. And you can see that data here as well. I'm going to jump down to campaigns. Now with campaigns, this is going to give you a breakdown of different campaigns you've linked with UTMs. To give you an example of what a UTM is, it's a custom URL that a lot of businesses use, a lot of influencers I'm sure use to track data on the different things they promote. It essentially allows you to create a custom URL that names a campaign. Let's call this example MSFT brand. So maybe it's a branding campaign. And you can put that link, let's say, on a link from your organic social pages to track. Maybe you posted a certain campaign and you want to track the different users that came in during the week after posting that and consider that the campaign running for a week. This would track all that traffic specifically and break it out separately. Now, UTMs can be a whole different conversation that I can dive more into if you're curious, because it warrants a conversation on how to track things at a more broken down level. But for now, just know that you can use a UTM so that these campaigns show up broken out in this way. You can run multiple campaigns and see the data broken out by multiple campaigns. And again, different revenue metrics here. And that's what this whole all campaigns tab is about. Next, I want to go into behavior. So this goes into how your users are engaging on the site. Now, we already saw things like average time, page views, bounce rate. What's really nice is you can look at your behavior flow. And this actually guides you on how users are going through your website. And it will take a second to load because it's a lot of data. Typically, this would show different URLs on your website. So you might see that people go to your homepage and then you can look at the group details. And although this one doesn't have it, let's say you are a hair salon, you'll see that people are going to your services page next from the homepage. You're like, okay, that makes sense. That's really good to know. And then maybe from the services page, you notice that more users are going to your women's haircut page. So you can say, okay, people are definitely coming to my site looking more for women's haircuts. Let me maybe put a link to that on my homepage so that they can even skip the services page. And this is how you can kind of use this to improve your website and how people use it. Lastly, I just want to touch on conversions. So conversions are things you can add to your Google Analytics and GA4 to let Google know, hey, these interaction points on my website mean that somebody is definitely a high quality user. Example of this would be someone who fills out a contact form, or maybe somebody that hits a certain button that goes to a scheduling platform that you have. When you set up these conversions, then you'll be able to see how many people, let's tie it back to the different channels, are actually going and accomplishing those goals. So you can see here, purchase complete. So a high engagement point is somebody who makes a purchase. They call this just engaged users. Maybe it's users who stay on the site longer than 2 minutes, people who register, or they enter checkout. This is a great example for e-commerce. But you can put these different points on here so that you can begin to see data, just like I already explained, broken out by that level. So let's see how many people enter checkout from paid search versus direct. You can see that direct traffic entered the checkout 2 times more than the paid search did. And again, if you're using organic social channels, you'll see organic social here, and you can see that people on TikTok reach checkout 3 times more than Facebook users did. And you can start to make these top level digital marketing strategy decisions based on the data you see. And that's the magic of Google Analytics. Now, really quick, I do want to show you Google Analytics 4. As you can see, this account is not doing great, this demo account. But what I really want to focus on here is that you can kind of see less data, and that's kind of a part of GA4's new MO, is that there's going to be less data, but I think they'll start to roll out more things as time goes on, and know that the types of data I showed you is still happening on the back end. But what's going on is that we as the business owners just can't see that data anymore legally. And to me, it kind of makes sense. I mean, privacy is important. Google wants to ensure users are getting the privacy that they want. And the US government is trying to ensure the same thing. So we still get to see reporting. We still see channel breakdowns, and we can still go deeper into it. But things are broken out in a lot more minimalistic way, as you can see. There's less tabs on the side to go through. I will make sure to link down below where you can download these demo accounts so that you can play around with it yourself, see how you can use it as a business owner, and maybe even give you enough know-how to set it up yourself for your side hustle or business so that you can start making those digital marketing strategy decisions yourself. I hope you get a lot from that breakdown. Let me know if you would like me to go in depth more on Google Analytics, or maybe UTMs and how to set them up to structure campaigns. You can do so much with Google Analytics and Google's whole suite of products. So let me know in the comments if you want more of that. Other than that, check out my other videos about digital marketing strategy, some for even small businesses, or how to grow your TikTok. I have a ton of videos on that. And subscribe if you like this video and want to see more content from me. But other than that, I hope you have an amazing day.